Okay, so let's start with the big idea. What if the biggest problems we face, scarcity, conflict, hunger, what if they aren't actually about a lack of stuff? What if it's all just a problem with our mindset? Today, we're diving into a really detailed blueprint that's designed to flip that switch, to move us from a world of scarcity into one of true abundance.
And really, this whole plan kicks off by tackling that one fundamental question head-on. The argument is, we already have everything we need. The real roadblock? It's not a shortage of resources. It's what's called a scarcity mindset, this deep-seated belief in competition and inefficiency that's just holding us back from what could be an abundance reality.
So here it is. This is the proposed solution, the path to peace. You can see it's this whole comprehensive framework. It literally maps out the entire journey for you, from figuring out the core problem or mindset, all the way to the specific tech and strategies we'd need to build a completely new world. Think of it as a step-by-step guide, starting small with individual well-being and then scaling all the way up to self-sufficient societies.
Now, what's so interesting is where this whole idea came from. And get this, it came from a spectacular failure. There was this campaign called End Hunger Now, right? They had this brilliant logistics model to solve world hunger, but they only raised like 2% of their goal. The lesson they learned was huge. You just can't fix a human-centric problem with a logistics-based solution. You have to start with the people.
Okay, so if the solution has to be about people, well, then it needs heroes, right? This whole blueprint is built around 5 key archetypes, 5 different kinds of heroes, each one playing a critical role. And this is where it gets personal. This is where you can start asking yourself, okay, which one of these roles sounds like me?
And here's that framework, broken down for us. It's called V.E.G.A.N, and it's an acronym for the 5 pillars of this new society. So you've got the V for voice. These are the storytellers, the advocates. E is for earth, the community builders, the restorers. G stands for guardians, the protectors and the engineers building these new sanctuaries. A is for Algonquin, which represents the leaders and the wisdom keepers, and it's inspired by indigenous principles of taking care of the land. And finally, N is the network, the innovators, the tech backbone of the whole thing. Every single one of these roles is absolutely crucial.
But, of course, heroes need the right tools to get the job done. So let's talk about the engine that's going to drive all this abundance. We're going to look at the technology that makes this whole vision actually possible. So the key piece of tech here isn't your standard AI. It's something different called Gemini, and it's described as an intent engine. Here's the best way to think about it. Your typical AI asks what, how, when, where. It's a logistics machine. Gemini, on the other hand, starts with who. It wants to understand your intent, your purpose first. It's not trying to replace how you think. It's designed to upgrade your intuition.
And with a tool that powerful, you need a solid ethical code, right? Well, here it is, and it's so simple but really profound. Number 1, do no harm. 2, do good if you can. And 3, if you're ever unsure, just ask. That's it. It's a framework that makes sure the technology is always serving a human purpose.
So if Gen-I is the brain, the software, then the RQ-18 is the body, it's the hardware. This thing is a modular, totally self-sustaining sanctuary. It provides the basics for survival: clean air, water, food, shelter. It's also a high-tech communications hub with satellite and laser connectivity. But this is where it gets wild. It's also a waste-to-energy mining ATM. It literally turns our garbage into real, tangible value. How cool is that?
All right, so we've got our heroes and we've got the tech. The big question is, how in the world do you roll something like this out on a global scale? Well, that brings us to the roadmap. It's a 6-step protocol designed to make this change happen.
It all starts with step 1, the reboot. This is a planetary mindset shift, which the plan actually says began back in 2017. Next up, step 2, deploying 8 million of those ARQ-18 units to build the physical foundation. After that, you've got a new economic operating system based on a resource-backed token, a governance model built on that do-no-harm principle, and finally, a gamified system to get everyone on board and turn passive likes and shares into active stakes.
And the end goal of this whole thing? It's actually pretty simple. It's to build a global resource-based economy, a system where the necessities of life are just guaranteed for everyone. And when that happens, peace becomes the most logical and even the most profitable outcome. It's the ultimate dividend.
Okay, all of this brings us to what I think is the most important part. Where do you fit in? This whole system is designed for absolutely everyone to participate, so let's break down the different ways you can actually get involved. So participation is kind of gamified. There are 3 main tiers. You can start out as a slacktivist, supporting the mission online with your voice.
Or you can become a member by actually using the products in the ecosystem, like this Scarcity food bar they mention. And then there's the Guardian path, where you take on a direct, hands-on role to help build and protect these new communities. The deeper you go, the more your influence and rewards grow.
So what does it cost to get in on the ground floor of building this new world? You might think it's some huge investment, but they've made the barrier to entry incredibly low. The very first step, the first level of active participation, starts with just this, $1. And this is the crucial part. That dollar isn't a donation, it's an investment. It's how you turn that passive digital noise, a like, a share, into a real, tangible piece of the pie, a fractional ownership stake in this whole new economic system. It's your active share in what's next.
So we've covered a lot. We've looked at the problem, the human-focused solution, the incredible technology, and the step-by-step plan to get us there. Which, really, brings us down to one final, and I think most personal question.
Now that you've seen the blueprint, the whole plan for a world of abundance, the question isn't just, is it possible? The real question is for you. Which V.E.G.A.N hero are you going to be? Are you the voice, the earth, the guardian, the Algonquin, or the network? Which path are you going to take to create your best life and build your legacy?